Have you ever wondered why some of the most revered Stoic philosophers championed the art of indifference? At first glance, indifference might seem like a cold, uncaring attitude, often misconstrued as a lack of empathy or a disregard for others. Yet beneath this surface-level interpretation lies a profound and transformative philosophy. Today, we're diving deep into the heart of Stoicism to uncover the hidden strengths of indifference. Join me as we explore how mastering the art of indifference can become a powerful catalyst for personal growth, resilience, and success in both our personal and professional lives. Number 1. Freedom and authenticity. Our society is like an ocean, vast and deep, where conformity flows like currents, sweeping many along. Just like sheep in a herd, people often follow the crowd, adhering to societal norms and standards, driven by a deep-seated desire to fit in and be accepted. However, this pursuit of conformity can become a hidden trap, a cage that stifles our individuality and suppresses our true selves. In our world, where the fear of criticism and rejection looms large, those brave souls who dare to defy the norm and carve their own paths often face ridicule or isolation. The pressure to conform, to fit into this mold of normality, is immense and daunting. It leads many to forsake their unique dreams and identities for the comfort of anonymity and societal approval. Yet thinkers like Arthur Schopenhauer and the Stoic philosophers offer a powerful remedy to this fear of nonconformity, the art of indifference. They enlighten us that the opinions and judgments of others, though seemingly overpowering, are not as influential as we think. To truly realize our deepest aspirations and live a life that resonates with our innermost selves, we must learn to embrace selective indifference. This concept of indifference isn't about being uncaring or disconnected. It's about making a deliberate choice not to let societal norms and others' opinions control our decisions and life path. By adopting this stance of indifference, we carve out space for true authenticity and a rare, precious form of freedom. We break free from the invisible shackles of societal judgment and find the bravery to live on our own terms. We allow ourselves to explore our passions, chase our dreams, and express our true selves without fear of backlash. This, my friends, is the crux of freedom and authenticity, staying true to oneself in a world that constantly tries to mold us in its own image. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." In the context of our discussion, this means listening to our inner voice and values twice as much as the clamor of societal expectations. By doing so, we not only honor our true selves, but also embark on a journey of genuine freedom and authenticity. Number 2. Emotional resilience. In the heart of the ancient Greek city of Nicopolis, a significant episode unfolded in the school of the philosopher Epictetus. A man, deeply troubled by the perils looming over his existence, voiced his apprehensions about being incarcerated or banished from Rome by the emperor. This incident provides a window into the profound teachings of Stoicism, as imparted by Epictetus, whose insights echo timelessly. Epictetus, with his profound grasp of human nature and the cosmos, unequivocally declared that external happenings, such as imprisonment or exile, are not within our immediate sphere of influence. He underscored that an individual's true dominion, the essence of their liberty and strength, resides in their will and personal stance towards these situations. This Stoic viewpoint enlightens us that our emotional responses to life's occurrences are shaped not by the events themselves, but by our interpretation of them. If we yield to dread and panic at the prospect of adversities like imprisonment or exile, we plunge into a chasm of emotional turmoil. Conversely, if we embrace a perspective that sees these events as mere elements of the universe's grand design, occurrences that are neither inherently positive nor negative, we attain unyielding emotional resilience. This embodies the quintessence of Stoic philosophy, the conviction that, regardless of the severity of challenges, we retain the power to choose our response. Epictetus accentuated the importance of disregarding factors beyond our control. focusing instead on what is within our grasp, our thoughts, aspirations, and deeds. These constitute the true arenas of our personal empowerment. The power of indifference, from this Stoic standpoint, is rooted in the clarity to distinguish between what is within and beyond our control. Embracing indifference towards the uncontrollable liberates us from the energies that ignite our emotional unrest. The Stoic practice of indifference is not a passive stance towards life, but a proactive pursuit of what is beneficial and a shunning of what is detrimental, always steered by an inner wisdom that acknowledges the fleeting nature of external circumstances. This philosophy leads to a mindset unshaken by external upheavals, enabling our minds to stay calm and concentrated on what is genuinely significant. At its essence, Stoic indifference is a call to live authentically and bravely, irrespective of the external world's tumults. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This sentiment reinforces the power of our perspective in facing life's challenges, urging us to embrace the Stoic path of emotional resilience and indifference. Number 3. Authenticity and independence in thought. In this ever-evolving world where societal pressures and the urge to conform are omnipresent, the true essence of power lies in embracing the art of indifference. This isn't about apathy, but rather about finding the strength to stay true to your own voice amidst the cacophony of external influences. Imagine a world where everyone's opinions and judgments shape your every decision. This is the reality for many, but it doesn't have to be yours. The real magic of indifference is in its ability to carve out a space where your authenticity and personal truth can flourish. It's about being true to yourself, independent of others' views, and this opens up endless possibilities for living a life that's genuinely yours. Consider the story of the Stoic philosopher, Epictetus. Born a slave, he embraced the power of indifference to external circumstances. He believed that while we cannot control what happens to us, we can control our reactions. His famous quote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters," perfectly encapsulates this philosophy. Like Epictetus, by practicing indifference you can navigate life with resilience and authenticity. In a society fixated on conformity and social approval, choosing indifference is a bold act of rebellion, a declaration of your independence. It's about exploring and expressing your identity without the constraints of judgment and societal expectations. This selective indifference isn't just about safeguarding your individuality. It's a pathway to inner peace. By detaching from the burden of others' opinions, you gain the freedom to live in alignment with your deepest values and desires. This freedom is priceless, allowing you to experience life fully, unbound by social norms. This journey of conscious indifference is a path to self-discovery and authenticity, where each step is a true reflection of your essence. Embracing this philosophy reveals that indifference can be a powerful ally in living a life that's rich, meaningful, and uniquely yours. Now we arrive at a pivotal moment of choice and self-reflection. If you're with me on this journey, I invite you to make a personal commitment. Comment below. I will be different starting today, along with today's date. Let this be a landmark in your journey of personal evolution. By doing this, you're not just reaffirming your commitment to these ideas, but also marking the start of a new chapter in your life. A chapter where indifference becomes a tool for a more balanced, focused, and authentic existence. Remember today's date as the day you chose a new perspective, one that empowers you to face life's challenges with newfound strength and wisdom. Today is the day you decide to not just exist, but to live fully, with a clear purpose and the tranquility that comes from being in control of your reactions and emotions. Number 4. Improved performance. In today's segment, we delve into the transformative power of indifference as illustrated by the story of a young archer in competition. This archer, despite his skill, was ensnared in a web of anxiety and worry. His overwhelming need to win, driven by the desire to support his family, cast a shadow of fear over his abilities. Each arrow he released carried not just the force of his bow, but the heavy burden of his expectations and fears. Questions like, "What if I fail? And what will happen to my family if I lose?" created a pressure so intense that each shot became a struggle against himself. But this story is more than a narrative of pressure and anxiety. It's a lesson in the profound impact of adopting an attitude of indifference. When we shift our focus from being fixated on the outcome to immersing ourselves in the process, from a mindset of, I must win to, I will do my best, we experience a fundamental transformation in our approach and mental state. The young archer, by embracing indifference towards the final result, could concentrate on the present moment, his technique, breathing, body alignment, and the calmness essential for hitting the target. This change in perspective is not about surrendering ambition, but about finding a state of flow and harmony where our performance can truly excel. This philosophy of being present and detached from outcomes has far-reaching implications, extending beyond competitions to all areas of life. In work, personal endeavors, or relationships, detaching from the fixation on results and focusing on the process can bring a liberating sense of freedom and empowerment. It reduces anxiety, boosts efficiency, and enhances effectiveness. Moreover, this detachment from outcome obsession allows us to find intrinsic joy in the act itself. The journey becomes rewarding, with each small achievement becoming a source of satisfaction. Thus, being indifferent to results is not about giving up on our goals. It's a healthier, more sustainable approach to achieving them, enabling us to enjoy both the journey and the destination. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. This echoes the idea that our worries and fears often overshadow our abilities and potential. By adopting a Stoic mindset, we can overcome these mental barriers and unlock our true potential. If this resonates with you, don't miss the chance to explore further. I warmly invite you to share your thoughts and perspectives in the comment section below. Your insights are a valuable affirmation for us, enriching our community with diverse viewpoints. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay updated with our latest videos. Your engagement means the world to us, and we eagerly await your contributions. Number 5. Accessible satisfaction. The profound insights of the Greek philosopher Epicurus shed light on a path less traveled in our consumerist society. He championed the pursuit of happiness through simplicity, urging us to find joy in life's basic, natural elements. Epicurus believed that true happiness doesn't stem from accumulating material possessions, but rather from mastering and minimizing our desires. He argued that by cultivating indifference towards the alluring but fleeting pleasures of the material world, we unlock a deeper, more lasting form of satisfaction. This philosophy leads us to a place of objective satisfaction, where tranquility and contentment are found, not in excess but in moderation and appreciation for the essential. Epicurus taught that the fewer desires we harbor, the easier it is to achieve true satisfaction. This is a vital lesson in a world where the mantra often is that more is always better. Yet in the relentless pursuit of more possessions, more status, more pleasures, we find ourselves trapped in a cycle of never-ending dissatisfaction. In this endless chase, true satisfaction becomes an elusive, unattainable goal. Epicurus's wisdom guides us towards a more attainable, sustainable form of satisfaction, focusing on what genuinely enriches our lives. Indifference here is not about apathy. It's a deliberate choice to be content with less, to relish in life's small joys and authentic experiences. By adopting an attitude of indifference towards the excessive demands for extravagant pleasures and high status, we open the door to a simpler, yet profound satisfaction, rooted in authentic values and inner peace, independent of material gains or indulgences. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. This sentiment echoes Epicurus's teachings and highlights the power of indifference. By re-evaluating our priorities and seeking a life where true wealth is found in simplicity, moderation, and the joy of fundamental things, we can live with a grateful, peaceful heart. This approach is particularly relevant in our modern world, where the constant push for more can be overwhelming. The advice here is clear. Find richness in life's simplicity, Embrace the power of indifference and discover the profound satisfaction that comes from a life lived with purpose and moderation. Number 6. Rational and objective decisions. When we're emotionally invested in a particular outcome, our judgment can get clouded. This emotional attachment often leads us down a path of choices that feel good momentarily, but aren't necessarily wise in the long run. Our biases and personal prejudices can skew our perception, blocking us from seeing all the possibilities. However, when we approach situations with an attitude of indifference, and I don't mean being uncaring or negligent, we're actually giving ourselves the freedom to detach from these emotional biases. This stance allows us to look at situations through a lens of facts and logic, rather than being swayed by our feelings. Let's take a real-world example from the corporate world. Imagine a company executive deciding on a promotion. If they're close to one of the candidates, the easy choice might be to favor their friend. But this decision, driven by personal emotions, could be detrimental in the long run. Now, if the executive adopts a stance of indifference, setting aside personal feelings and focusing solely on each candidate's qualifications and merit, the decision becomes fairer and more beneficial for the company. Indifference in this context is a paradox. It might seem like disinterest, but it's actually a subtle and powerful tool. It helps us cut through the noise of our emotions and biases, leading to clarity of thought and action. This clarity is crucial for effective decision-making in any aspect of life. To enrich our understanding, let's turn to a story from the Stoic philosophers. Consider Seneca, who once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." He taught that by embracing an indifferent attitude towards things outside our control, we can maintain our inner peace and make more rational decisions. This Stoic principle aligns perfectly with our topic, illustrating how indifference can be a source of strength, not weakness. In conclusion, my friends, the lesson here is clear. Embrace the power of indifference. It's not about being cold or unfeeling, but about gaining the freedom to make decisions that are rational, objective, and ultimately more fulfilling. This approach can transform not just how we make decisions, but how we live our lives, leading us towards a path of greater clarity, effectiveness, and inner peace. Remember, in the words of Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Let's carry this wisdom into our daily lives, making decisions that are not just good for the moment, but good for our future. Number 7. Resilience in times of change. In our journey today, we're exploring the misunderstood yet powerful concept of indifference. Often mistaken for apathy, indifference is actually a strategic tool for resilience, especially in a world swirling with change and uncertainty. Imagine it as a form of selective emotional detachment, a skill that steadies us against life's relentless ebb and flow. We're living in a time where change is the only constant, and maintaining emotional equilibrium is not just beneficial but essential. True indifference is about wisdom and self-awareness. It's not about disconnecting from the world, but understanding our reactions to the uncontrollable. This enlightened form of indifference is an art. It teaches us to distinguish what we can change from what we must accept. By embracing this, we don't squander energy on the unchangeable. Instead, we channel it into actions and thoughts that genuinely make a difference in our lives and those of others. Even in the face of pressure or adversity, maintaining calm and objectivity equips us with a vital tool for adaptation and growth. Indifference becomes our internal compass, guiding us through chaos, enabling us to not just withstand life's storms, but to navigate them with resilience and determination. It helps us see past the fleeting disturbances, focusing on what's truly important. This isn't just a defense mechanism, it's a path to deeper self-understanding and a more profound connection with the world. Embracing indifference doesn't mean we merely survive the waves of change. We learn to ride them. We uncover new strengths and flexibilities within ourselves, realizing that often, real strength is in adapting and flowing with life's currents, not resisting them. Indifference, then, is not about shirking responsibility or showing weakness. It's a sign of emotional intelligence and maturity. It encourages us to live more fully and consciously, seeing changes not as foes but as allies in our journey towards personal growth and fulfillment. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable." Indifference teaches us to focus on the present, to embrace change as a natural part of life's journey, leading us to a place of greater understanding and peace. Number 8. Clarity and focus on personal goals. In the bustling maze of modern life, where distractions abound and clamor for our attention, the art of selective indifference emerges as a beacon of empowerment. This brand of indifference is not a mere passive disinterest. Rather, it's a dynamic, strategic choice to turn our backs on the ephemeral and superficial, directing our gaze towards what is truly substantial and lasting. Embracing this approach, we not only filter out the incessant noise that inundates our daily existence but also sharpen our discernment, allowing us to identify and prioritize elements that genuinely contribute to realizing our paramount goals. Selective indifference is akin to building a fortress against the relentless waves of distractions and interruptions, safeguarding our path towards our objectives. It imparts the wisdom to prefer depth over shallowness, quality over quantity, ushering us into a life marked by intentionality and focus. In this journey, we become skilled at pinpointing and chasing what aligns with our life's mission, deliberately avoiding the allure of paths that stray from our fundamental beliefs. Moreover, the practice of selective indifference fortifies us with mental resilience against societal pressures and external expectations. In a world where our worth is often measured by our possessions or achievements, detaching from these superficial yardsticks of success is a liberating act. It enables us to redefine success on our own terms, steered by an inner compass of authenticity and personal satisfaction, rather than being tossed about by the whims of societal norms. This path of conscious and selective indifference also bolsters our emotional independence. We learn to break free from the shackles of external validation, finding joy and fulfillment in our own progress and achievements, irrespective of outside acclaim. This leads to a form of contentment that is self-generated and profoundly fulfilling, rooted in accomplishments that hold deep personal significance. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This echoes the essence of selective indifference where listening to our inner voice becomes paramount, tuning out the irrelevant chatter of the world. Finally, selective indifference serves as a catalyst for profound personal growth and evolution. It prompts us to engage in consistent self-reflection, perpetually reassessing our priorities and fine-tuning our focus to align with our changing aspirations. This results in a life journey that is richer and more layered, where each decision is a conscious manifestation of our deepest, most authentic desires. In essence, selective indifference is not just a tool for goal attainment, but a compass for navigating the complexities of modern life, guiding us towards a fulfilling and purpose-driven existence. Number 9. Simplification of decision-making. Next, we delve into the transformative power of selective indifference, particularly in our decision-making process. In today's world, where we're inundated with endless information and choices, learning to be selectively indifferent is not just beneficial, it's essential. This isn't about disengaging from the world, but rather about engaging with it more wisely. Imagine your mind as a space, cluttered with options and data. By practicing selective indifference, you clear out the unnecessary, making room for clarity and peace. This is about focusing on what truly matters, filtering out the distractions that don't align with your core values and long-term goals. In a world constantly throwing new trends and opinions at us, being indifferent to these peripheral influences empowers us to identify what's genuinely beneficial for us. This approach is liberating. It cuts through the noise and confusion surrounding our choices, allowing us to be more assertive and decisive. Decisions become less about external pressures and more about what aligns with our inner needs and aspirations. It simplifies the decision-making process and significantly reduces the anxiety and indecision that often accompany it. Moreover, practicing indifference builds confidence in our decision-making abilities. It teaches us that not all options warrant equal consideration, and that often simplicity and clarity are the keys to effective choices. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This encapsulates the essence of selective indifference, craving less, focusing more, and finding richness in simplicity. In essence, when understood and applied correctly, indifference is a tool of empowerment. It equips us to navigate the sea of modern life's possibilities with a finely tuned internal compass, guiding us toward deliberate choices that resonate with our true selves and our deepest aspirations. Remember, in the art of living, the master is the one who can turn what many see as a limitation into an asset. This is the power of indifference, a power that you, too, can harness. Number 10. Enhancing emotional self-sufficiency. Indifference in this context isn't about being cold or apathetic. Rather, it's about an inner fortitude that equips us to navigate life with a blend of confidence and equilibrium. Imagine this. You're no longer tethered to the relentless pursuit of others' approval or validation. This is the freedom that comes with practicing indifference. It's a journey towards valuing your own judgments and emotions, placing them above the fluctuating opinions of others. This doesn't mean disregarding feedback from others entirely, but rather harmonizing it with your inner wisdom and intuition. This emotional resilience, born from indifference, lays a solid foundation of self-awareness and self-respect. It shields us from being overly influenced by the emotional tides of those around us. Moreover, it cultivates a calmness crucial for confronting life's hurdles. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable." Indifference teaches us to let go of this anxiety, to understand that not every situation demands our emotional energy. This mindset not only alleviates stress but also clears our vision, enabling us to make decisions unclouded by emotional chaos. Furthermore, embracing indifference nurtures self-confidence and self-appreciation. When we stop relying on external validation, we begin to acknowledge our own accomplishments and worth. This creates a positive loop of self-empowerment, where each step towards emotional autonomy boosts our confidence and competence in handling life's complexities. In essence, indifference is not an emotional blockade. It's a pathway to a more genuine and balanced existence. It liberates us to live by our own standards, fortifying our inner selves and preparing us to face the world with a newfound sense of calm and self-assurance. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic emperor, advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Indifference, therefore, is not just a practice but a gateway to a life of authenticity, resilience, and profound inner peace. Number 11. Avoid worries. In the dance of life where storms often brew, the art of indifference is not a sign of fear or weakness, but a strategic retreat, a moment of calm before facing life's tempests. It's in this art of selective attention that we find our true strength. Indifference is not about stifling anger, but about embracing forgiveness. It's not about harboring grievances, but about letting them dissolve in the light of understanding. It's not about feigning ignorance, but about cultivating tolerance. When wounded by life's arrows, whisper to yourself, "Release it, see the pain as a lesson, and tread more cautiously in the future." In disputes, remind yourself, "Release it, and less arguing drains your spirit and time." Facing defeat, persuade yourself, "Release it. Success isn't always sweet. Failure isn't always bitter. Life's tapestry is woven by fate." In moments of humiliation, console yourself. Release it. To endure is brave, to yield is wise. Today's suffering may pave the way for tomorrow's fortune. The mantra, "Release it," is a profound exercise in liberation, demanding a heart expansive enough to forgive, and the bravery to confront life's challenges. Indifference it. It's not about yielding, but about achieving a state of inner peace. Indifference it. It's not about defeat, but about the wisdom to know when to step back. Indifference it. It's a blend of consolation, forgiveness, courage, and resilience. Life doesn't always bend to our will. To live with ease, embrace optimism, to find joy, understand the virtue of enough. Letting go of what isn't ours, whether emotions or possessions, frees us from the futile chase and the burdens of discontent. Master the art of indifference. Shun pettiness. Avoid overthinking. Why exhaust yourself with constant worry? Why keep scratching at old wounds? Better to let go and live for oneself. Seek a tranquil life, a healthy body, daily joy and optimism, a harmonious family. Minor losses are inconsequential compared to the tranquility within. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This echoes in our quest for inner peace, the most precious of life's treasures. As we conclude today's exploration of the power of indifference, the great benefits of being indifferent, I hope you've gained a deeper understanding of how this Stoic principle can profoundly impact your life. Indifference, as we've seen, is not about apathy or disconnection, but about cultivating a mindset that allows for emotional resilience, authenticity, and a focus on what truly matters. Remember, the journey of Stoicism is not a solitary one. It thrives in a community of like-minded individuals, each on their path to wisdom and inner peace. Your participation in this journey enriches the experience for all of us. So, I encourage you to share your thoughts, experiences, and insights in the comments below. How has the concept of indifference resonated with you? How do you plan to incorporate it into your daily life? And if you found value in our discussion today, please show your support by liking this video, sharing it with others who might benefit from these teachings, and subscribing to Stoic In Your Life channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications to stay updated with our upcoming videos, where we will continue to delve into the profound wisdom of Stoicism and its application in our modern lives. Your engagement is not just appreciated, it's vital in spreading the timeless wisdom of Stoicism to a wider audience. Together, let's build a community where ancient philosophy meets the modern hustle, where each of us can grow, learn, and find serenity in the midst of life's challenges. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Remember, every day is an opportunity to practice these principles and transform your life. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and keep walking the Stoic path.